Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day to you on this August 20th, 2025. I've got all your stories for your rush hour ride to work. We'll be discussing a lawsuit being filed against Dr. Phil for $500 million. I'm becoming the lawsuit podcast. We've got so many different lawsuits going on, only one of which I'm a star witness in, but the rest we will just be commentating on. So we'll give updates on all of them. So from Dr. Phil, of course, we'll cover Justin Baldoni and the pretty kooky filing by Isabela Ferrer. We, of course, have covered this all week long, but now PR experts are thinking that it was actually done on purpose as a way to take media attention from another party. So we'll look into the chess game being played in the courtroom. And then also we've got the wall being painted, the southern border wall. I guess they're committing to painting it black now as a way to thwart more people from climbing over the wall. We'll get into it. Nothing a little ladder can't stop you, but I'll explain the entire story there. Let's start with Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil's bankrupt media company sued for over $500 million TV deal. I mean, why sue a bankrupted company? There's nothing to get there. But hey, Dr. Phil's got money, right? Partner Trinity Broadcasting and Phil McGraw's Merritt Street are suing each other in bankruptcy court over a purported 10-year deal under which Dr. Phil would make 160 new 90-minute episodes of his show. The bankruptcy of Dr. Phil's Merritt Street Media has taken another turn, with its distributing partner suing the company for fraud and breach of contract. All right, so, there's, the Christians aren't happy, you know what I mean? They've got God on their side, and I hope they take Dr. Phil for all he's worth. That's what I hope. Why? I don't know. I don't know if I like the guy. He just seems to be the type that, any of these talk show hosts that they really they sort of monetize other people's pain, right? Whether it's the Jerry Springers or the Maury Poviches, they're kind of just yucky. I don't know, just me. Maybe you love Dr. Phil. I don't know. Do we have a big Dr. Phil audience? But either way, Chris Harrison was part of that network, I believe, was supposed to do a show on his network, and it all fell through. So again, what a wild time to be alive. How about this? This is my hometown, Newport, Rhode Island. Body cam video shows Rhode Island's AG arrested and says, "You're going to regret this." I love videos of high-powered people getting arrested. They just can't accept their reality. Listen to this clip.
I want you to turn your body cam off. Protocol is that you turn it off. If a citizen requests it to turn it off, she's a lawyer.
And then her friend goes, "She's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. Citizens, you have to turn off the body cam footage if I request it. Pay these cops more money." Now, it is, I don't know if anyone knows Newport, Rhode Island, but the summers in Newport, it's just a bunch of drunk white women, slipping all over the cobblestones. I mean, it's really like a wipeout scenario. You got women wearing stilettos, you got the humidity, and then these cobblestone streets from the 1600s, and people are just ditching and falling everywhere. There's just people bobbing in the bay. But either way, I guess this lady was getting arrested. I just thought it was interesting, whenever there's local news from my hometown here, but she, I guess, knew her rights, but it ended up getting her handcuffed anyway.
So they want you guys to leave?
Yes, we're going to leave.
Let's just leave. Let's just make it easy, okay?
We're going to make it easy.
That's not.
I am. Okay.
I'm her
That's
husband.
not the point. Can you look at me?
Yeah, we'll talk over here, okay?
Your protocol is...
Can we all...
She goes, the protocol is, oh boy, God bless this lady's husband. You know what I mean? She's like, the protocol is you put the seat down after you flush. He's like, honey, I understand. So either way, there's your body. I've had a lot of people send this to me. This was on CBS. The body cam footage of, and by the way, what happened to this lady? I have no idea. She ended up getting arrested. So, that's the thing with cops, right? Sometimes you hope they always do the right thing. But again, these Newport cops, they got a whole nother issue going on. And it's only the summertime. The winter, everyone's in bed sleeping, going to bed early. But in the summertime, it brings out the cookies. How about this? Celebration goes wrong as a player makes a blind jump. So if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, I'm going to have to run this one by you. But a player scores a goal and tries to jump into the stands. I'm going to play this clip. 15 seconds long here. Scores a goal, big moment, jumps over the first little fence there, and then goes to jump over the next fence, but oh no, realizes it's a 25-foot drop into what looks like a little canal, a little cement. So he falls into cement. Anyway, just here to tell you guys, be careful doing your jobs. It's a dangerous world out there. You're slipping on cobblestones. You're jumping into ditches. Just be careful out there, folks. Okay, before we get into the real news, we got real news to cover. I have to share this with you. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I'm fascinated by Christianity. Now, I'm not here to, mock anyone's religion, but I do have a family member that believes that Noah's Ark had dinosaurs on it. I do. This exists in my lineage. Blood relatives of mine think that the dinosaurs and Jesus were like all in the same period. They did. Don't judge me over it. I'm just letting you know. It's not my it's not my mom. It's just, but I'm just letting you know. So when I came across this TikTok that the title was, "How did dinosaurs fit on the ark?" I mean, can you not press play?
Have dinosaurs on the ark, and dinosaurs were so big, how could they possibly fit on board Noah's Ark, right? We hear this on a regular basis. And it's true, dinosaurs, some of them were enormous. Sauropods like this one could get a lot bigger. Now, Rebbachosaur wasn't one of the biggest, but if you had Diplodocus, they could be over 100 feet long. You could have Brachiosaurs that I think they're about 65 feet tall, taller than the ark itself. So how could they possibly fit on board the ark? Well, even the biggest dinosaurs were once a lot smaller. I think most people understand how this works. Even the 65-foot tall Brachiosaur was once the size of an egg like that. Now, we're not saying that Noah took 2 eggs and rolled them up the ramp hoping he got a male and a female, but once they hatch, they're not a whole lot bigger. And so you bring the juveniles, you bring the younger ones.
You bring the juveniles, you bring the younger ones, just like Epstein's Island, right? Now listen, I had no idea that the dinosaurs were on the ark. I knew they had the giraffes and some rabbits or whatnot. Now, honestly, I'm not here to judge anybody who believes in Noah's Ark. Maybe this guy Noah, maybe he had a pontoon boat. I mean, they have, in Turkey? They have like this hill where they go, this is where the ark is. I'm just saying, it must have been a hell of a journey building this ark, but there's a lot of animals. What about all the bugs? Are you going to put termites on the ark? You can't put termites on the ark. They're going to eat the ark. Either way, I guess the dinosaurs were just juveniles, underage dinosaurs. That's and by the way, this is I'm assuming this ark, they have a replica in Kentucky where my wife's from. I always have to remind her that Kentucky does have a replica of the ark. Well, from one ark to a story arc, you like that transition? Coming up next, we're going to discuss several elements of the Justin Baldoni case going on. First, we have, just from several months ago, an article about Isabela Farrar distancing herself from Blake Lively. Now, this is interesting because, of course, the court documents we read this week were pretty much on the same side as Blake, which was she was okay accepting the subpoena from Blake's side, but when it came to accepting it from Justin's side, she was accusing him of bullying her as harassment. How dare you? I'm a young, naive actor. Well, it looks like just a few months ago, she was trying to distance herself, but again, has now had to play ball. Maybe Blake Lively was calling in all those favors. So again, here's what she had to say. Blake wants to drag her, Isabela, this is from a source, into this lawsuit and asked her to back her up on her accusations of harassment. But Isabela could not do this because she didn't personally see this, the source continued. She was very naive when she was cast, and everything to her was a privilege. She was so focused on her character that didn't have time to get involved in any gossip. She knows that defending anyone against accusations when she didn't see this herself with her own 2 eyes could be very damaging to her career. She feels shafted, and deleting her photos with Blake was no accident. So, how did she get from deleting her photos with Blake, distancing herself from Blake, to essentially being part of a coordinated campaign to dunk on Justin Baldoni? Well, we're going to get into that next after a quick word from our sponsor. So I have a couple clips to share with you. The first one here is from Nicole Townsend on TikTok, where she asked the question, is Isabela afraid of being under oath? I mean, it's a very honest question to ask. Let's have a listen.
Testifying under oath what I saw in the workplace, I would say sign me up. I would say put me in front of that judge and let me testify, because I would do anything to help my friend.
Yeah, telling the truth is easy, right? It's hard to remember lies. But telling the truth, oh yeah, I saw him. No, he grabbed her. She was wearing this. He was doing that. I saw him salivating over. You can remember. We have that ability to recall. But if you're trying to pull some shit out of thin air, that's not easy.
The only reason why I wouldn't do that and why I would be so against a subpoena by the opposing team is because I didn't see anything. Getting a subpoena from Justin Baldoni should not be surprising her. She already complied with a subpoena from Blake's side. Now Justin's sending his. She was on the set of this movie. Some of the things mentioned in the lawsuit that Blake filed against Justin Baldoni are scenes that involve her. So naturally, both sides want her testimony. And there's only one reason that I can think of that you would not want to give it. And I think it's because you'll be under oath. When you're under oath, you can't say things that she tells you to say. You have to talk about the things that you saw. And if you can't help her, you're going to avoid it. Maybe you're afraid that what you're going to say will hurt her. I can't think of any other reason why you would think that you're above this. Why would you think that you don't have to testify? You are an employee of Wayfair, a star member of the cast of It Ends With Us, and you think you don't have to testify?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think anything happened with Isabela. So I think her testimony will just show she was on set. She was directed by Justin. There was an intimacy coordinator. Boom, it's over. Of course, Justin's side says they would sign a stipulation to say, we don't have to subpoena her if Blake Lively doesn't want it. If we all just want to cut her out of it, let's cut her out of it. But that's what's interesting. What is said in court versus what is said or implied outside of court. But in court is what does all the talking. Now, our good friend here, Ashley Brianna Eve, gives an updates on how she believes this is a coordinated PR stunt and calculated rollout with Isabel's filing. Very fascinating theories. Have a listen.
I think Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Isabel Ferrer have been planning this PR stunt. I mean, legal filing for some time. First, you mean to tell me that this just so happens to coincide when Blake Lively is being pummeled by news around Ruin the Friendship and the fate of Ophelia and everything else in regards to Taylor Swift? It's just one big coincidence. It happens the first Monday after all that bad PR. And what was Blake Lively's move without this? Like, personally, showing up at her local Pilates studio and over moosing people's hair, eating a burrito in her bathroom again, showing up at the local donut shop. Like, those are Blake's PR moves. Was she going to counter Taylor Swift with that? But I noticed leading up to this that there were articles starting to pop up about Isabel Ferrer, and they were starting to trend, which seemed odd to me because I wasn't specifically looking for Isabel Ferrer. US Weekly had Who is Isabel Ferrer? 5 Things to Know About the It Ends With Us actress. And Holla had Meet Isabel Ferrer, the Latina who plays young Blake Lively in It Ends With Us. And that one dropped August 15th. When there had been no articles, nothing about Isabela since, looks like April, when Daily Mail said Blake Lively's co-star appears to distance herself to avoid being dragged into Justin Baldoni lawsuit. So, just happens all of a sudden, everyone wants to know about Isabela in the news, and just so happens that it's when Blake's getting all this bad press. I don't believe it. I think they all work together, and someone needs to check Blake Lively's bedroom or basement for Isabela. I think she's willingly there, but maybe that's where you can subpoena her, at Blake Lively's residence. You know, the one in New York that she says we should all know about.
All right, there it is. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. In a normal world, you look at all of this sort of these theories and you'd think people are crazy, but when you're at that level, you do roll out these sorts of PR campaigns where you try to have search engine optimization that uses certain words in an article so it'll show up higher than words in an article that's a negative article about you. I think it's stupid. I think this is like the old school way of entertainment working. And in today's world, the power of having direct communication to your audience, podcasting, that's a far better world to be in. So yeah, I don't know. This Isabela thing, this might be the most interesting aspect of this movie because, again, I said this the other day, but I'll say it again. If there's any proof that Isabela ditched some evidence on behalf of Blake Lively, asking her to delete something, that'd be fascinating. Would Blake Lively be so brazen to text Isabela and have that sort of like time-stamped evidence of her, asking her to, delete evidence, which would be a crime. I don't know. I have no idea. But I think Blake thinks she's smarter than she is. And I think Justin completely believes he's innocent in all of this. So Isabela, somewhere in the center, trying to make a defense for why she was nice to Justin, which I understand. I said that about Jamie Heath when Jamie Heath was, talking up Blake Lively, saying all these nice words about it. It's like, yeah, he's trying to get her to the finish line. And Isabela, I understand why she's being nice to her director. She's trying to get booked on future movies, possibly star in the sequel, who knows, or the prequel, whatever. So I kind of throw out that sort of like soul-sucking PR that you have to do in this industry. But there's more to her not wanting to talk. What is it? We'll have to see. But we'll have to see what the judge has to say, too. All right, coming up next, let's dive off of that. Wanted to share this very interesting story. I mean, you want to chap me up? This is the type of government fraud and waste that does it. I am so sick and tired of our tax dollars going to stupid things. Here's Secretary Noem announcing the president's plan to paint the southern border wall black. I'm telling you, he's got like this Chip and Joanna Gaines fetish here. Everything's an HGTV project right now. Have a listen.
Now, if you look at the structure that's behind me, it's tall, which makes it very, very difficult to climb, almost impossible. It also goes deep into the ground, which would make it very difficult, if not impossible, to dig under. And today, we are also going to be painting it black. That is specifically at the request of the president, who understands that in the hot temperatures down here, when something is painted black, it gets even warmer, and it will make it even harder for people to climb. So we are going to be painting the entire southern border wall black to make sure that we encourage individuals to not come into our country illegally, to not break our federal laws, but that they will abide and come to our country the right way so that they can stay and have the opportunity to become United States citizens and pursue the American dream.
What are they smoking? What are they on? Seriously. I'm seeing quotes that this could cost $1 billion. This could be hundreds of millions of dollars. Literally, our government will go out of its way to not get us a concepts of a healthcare plan that's, take the sick people off the street. What are they doing? Painting the wall black because it's going to burn people's hands? They're probably climbing the walls at night anyway. You don't think they can climb the wall with some ski gloves on? What are you talking about? And by the way, there's also fences they can use, or ladders they can use. So either way, do we think, is the juice worth the squeeze here? Is the hundreds of millions of dollars it's going to cost to paint the border wall, is that really worth the investment? Or should we be putting that money into, I don't know, helping single moms out or getting people back on their feet that are drug addicted? I mean, the list goes on. So again, I don't know anybody who's into this. I don't know anybody who thinks this is a good idea, and yet here we are. So if you enjoy my channel, I've got my social media czar, Danielle, just spitting out short form content. We've got Dave Neal on Facebook, or Dave Neal's Community. We've got the Rush Hour with Dave on Instagram and TikTok, all over the place. So go follow us wherever you do your social media. I sounded old. Wherever you do your social media, come follow us over there. And by the way, I might have some surprise shows for you this weekend in St. Louis, Missouri. More on that. It's still in the works, but you might catch your boy in St. Louis. I'll let you guys know. More content coming today on the Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. So we'll be there at 11 a.m. Central Time for your daily private live stream. And then again, this afternoon, like we are every day, twice a day, your pop culture in one place. I'll see you then. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.